Hi everybody, welcome back to Bobby's Bucks, and today I wanted to talk about packing the backpack, how I pack out for different hunts, and we'll also talk about the climber. We'll talk about the traditional setup where you already have a stand, and what I'm talking about is those deep hunts. You know, 99% of our hunts, we hunt public land, and when we're hunting, you know, 3/4 of a mile in, maybe even farther sometimes, you want to have a stand preset. You don't want to carry all this gear when you're hunting those kind of stands. So I really recommend, if you're going to be hunting far end, take the time to hike a stand in and hang that stand and come back and maybe bring your sticks so you don't have to carry the stand and all the setup. Let's talk about when you're saddle hunting or when you're carrying a climber, okay? For example, you know, if you're carrying a climber, and these are really nice to use, you don't have to worry about your stands getting stolen. I'll use the straps from the tree stand, and then I'll just simply use the straps on the backpack to strap to the tree stand. So that's how I take everything out when it comes to climbers. And this is the Lone Wolf Climber. I really recommend that. If you guys would like to see more about tree stands and different tree stands that I use over the years, I can put a video in the corner for you. So this is your mid-size backpack. It's almost small. It's not really a small one, but the reason why I don't go big is because early when I started out hunting, I took too much. You know, I took a meal, I took some water, and pretty soon you're carrying 20 pounds. And when you're a young guy, you don't really care about weight, but the older you get, especially the farther the season progresses, you're going to get tired, your legs are even going to get weak, and just depends on how often or how hard you hunt. Those long far hunts, I'm going to take a lot less. What I like about this is it's got a hidden bottom pocket right here where I keep a lot of the gear that I don't always take out. Like my tag, I'll take some gloves. I have the long gloves in here. I have an extra bag for the deer heart because we like to take the deer heart. And these bags, these gloves that I have in here, they come all the way up to the biceps, so that way if you're harvesting a deer that you want to send to the taxidermist, you can use those gloves to make sure you remove the lungs and heart, and you don't have to cut up the rib cage like you would, say, a doe. So I have my bag. I also have some toilet paper in case your body tells you that this is happening out in the woods, regardless if you want it or not. Also, we got the outdoor edge. I absolutely love this knife. Has a new blade edge every single deer. The outdoor edge, I can link that down below for you. Also, this is a handsaw. This is the lightest handsaw on the market. I'm all about lightweight tools. If you'd like to see more lightweight tools that we use, be sure to check that video out. But this saw is handy if you're hunting a property where maybe you need to cut a shooting lane or just one limb that's bothering you. This is great to have. It's better to have it and not need it. It's so light that, you know, it's one of those things you should always have. Also, I have an extra pair of latex gloves that go down in this bottom pocket, as well as a pelvic saw. The pelvic saw really opens up the deer's legs, so it makes it easier so you're not fighting the legs every time you're trying to process the deer. So that's pretty much what goes on the bottom. Those are all my tools and things that I don't use every time I go hunting. So now moving over to the side pockets, there's these. Now this backpack's about 4 years old. It's on its way out. I like it because it's got soft fabric. It's not loud. I can move it around, and that matters. I mean, it's not like that windbreaker loud plastic bag type of material. You want it to be very soft and quiet when you're moving it around. I take my scent lock gloves and I put them right here in the side pocket right here. Moving over to this other side pocket, I always carry these gear hooks that strap to the tree trunk, because here in Michigan we're not allowed to pierce the tree on public land, so it's good to have these straps. Now this gear, you guys, I'm going to link it all down below. So we have our gear hooks over here, we got our gloves over here, and now we're going to move into this front pocket. This is where I keep a lot of the gear that I need every hunt. Like my trigger release goes down to the bottom. My range finder, you guys got to have a range finder if you're bow hunting. It's going to lead to so many misses if you're always guessing. You got your True Talker. True Talker always works great. You have your milkweed for wind indicator. You guys, that stuff is so cool because you can see the wind. You don't have to just feel the wind. I also have my strap, my back strap for saddle hunting. This is great. And then this is something a little different. I have one of these gear ties, these bendable wire, quiet. It doesn't hold any scent. This is great for tying back branches or even tying gear, maybe even a stick to the back of your saddle or your bag or something. It's almost weightless, and it's just great to have, even if you only use it maybe once or twice Okay, and then I always carry two kinds of masks. These are both scent lock, and this is for just your typical setup. But if I'm in a tree that has a lot of leaves, I want to look like the leaves that are moving. So I'll have a leafy mask like this. Sometimes I'll wear them both. So, and that all goes in my front pocket. Now, some of them come with chest straps that connect your shoulder straps. Those chest straps, for whatever reason, they don't make them beefy. I have broke every one of them. So what I do is I actually tie a separate strap. I bought separate straps. I have like a dozen of these, and this actually hooks around my backpack, and that connects my straps. If these ever break, you can make your own chest strap. This really takes a lot of the weight off your shoulders and your back. The waist strap, okay, or belt strap, whatever you want to call it, because it's just another spot to have quick access to things. When you're mobile hunting, you always want to keep a bowstring. My bowstring will go in here. Also, my light. You don't want a really bright light. Some folks, you know, maybe they get spooked out going in the woods and they want a lot of light. Well, deer can see that. They can see the light coming. They actually pick that up. Now, deer they have a bicone system, not a tricone system like ours, and they can't see green lights, red lights. So if you have a light that actually has a green or red light, that would be beneficial, so you're not spooking deer. But I always keep my light and my bowstring up in my front pockets like this, because when I get to the tree stand, I have to hook onto my bow and then climb the tree and then pull the bow up. Yes, I have actually climbed up into a tree and realized that I never clipped my bow, and I had to climb back down and clip my bow. I like to keep my bowstring with my light, or I'll put it in with my gloves. That way, because when I go to grab my gloves to climb, I'm always grabbing my bowstring, so that'll remind me to hook up to my bow. Okay, so, and then lastly, in this pocket, I always have some extra hooks for my bow, or if I'm hunting a property where I can use them, I can clip a GoPro onto it, or it's always nice to have those little hooks, those gear hooks. Okay, so we're moving into the main pocket now. So what I do is I take my knee pad and I put that right down the back pocket. So that's actually gonna go up against my back. It's also gonna maybe shield a little bit from this metal on my back, so that's gonna pad that. I'll put this upside down into the bag so my gear doesn't get caught on it. And then I'm gonna take these. So I put the antlers down in the bottom, and then, because they're just a little bulky in the front pocket, and then I take my saddle, and that's what I put in right on top. Now, a lot of people wear their saddle in, and like I said, I mean, you can do that, but I feel like it's just restrictive on my legs, and it makes me sweat more. So I want to actually be able to walk and not have as much resistance. Like I feel like I'm just carrying a weight on my thighs when I'm walking in, and if I'm hiking a far distance, I'd rather have it on my back. I've realized that being able to step over logs and maneuver and pull my legs out of mud and things, it's easier when I don't have anything on my way. So I wait until I get to my tree, and then I put my saddle, my gear on. I get up in the tree as fast as possible. Now, often people put their bow on the back of their backpack, but I put my sticks on my backpack and I carry my bow. So I'll just simply take my sticks like this, and I will strap them on just like that. So guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, things are always different in different states, and you may need something else, but here in Michigan, you know, we're required to remove the deer. You know, often you'll see a carcass that's been quartered out and left. That's actually illegal in Michigan. You know, it's not like states in like South Dakota or Texas where you can do that. Here in Michigan, you'll actually be fined for leaving a carcass. A lot of people, that's a common misconception. You need to remove the deer. I field dress and I leave that for the wild, but you're not supposed to leave the carcass and to rot by the parking area that you see often. Check out this video in the corner where I talk about different deer carts and which deer cart we choose. I really recommend this setup, you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'd really love to hear the gear that you guys use. You know, this is the stuff that I've been using for years. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you guys have any information that maybe you do some things different and you have some gear that's a little different, I'd love to hear about it. So thank you for taking the time to do that. I always appreciate anybody who does that. So thanks so much for watching. Good luck this season, and we'll see you on the next video.